What's up, guys? Momo-Dog here. Today I'm back with a bit different topic than usual. It's nothing in-game related or not a tech or a guide or an analysis video. Those will keep coming soon, don't worry. Um, it's more about how my opinion on Devil Jin has changed after it's exactly 2 months now, ever since the game was released. The character got nerfed ever since the game was released. I think he's one of the characters that got hit the hardest by nerfs. And I know that I said back then that the nerfs on him were just a slap on the wrist. And I do take that statement back a lot now. I can't lie. The more I thought about this character recently, the more I came to the conclusion that this character is just super frustrating to play. I collected a lot of experience with this character now. I trained with him in Korea. I talked with a lot of people about him. I asked many pro players about their opinions on Devil Jin, and the general consensus, like to put it all in a nutshell, was that this character is not really worth it right now. Funnily enough, when I was at ATL, like the Korean Super Tournament, like where all the pro players are playing, the Korean pro players, the most stacked tournament probably, Ulsan came up to me, a pro player from Korea, and he said, "Aha, Devil Jin is back to his season 4.5 state in Tekken 7." And I was a bit surprised at first that he would say that, but when I played against Koreans, I quickly realized why they say it. Their counterplay to this character is on another level. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing this character. I love his design and his visuals. I will never stop playing him, but it's just that when I think about his strengths in this game, I feel like his strengths are like after 2 months of playing, and now that people got used to him, they're a bit whatever. Like, okay, I will admit his seed smash is easily one of the best in the game, but the more I saw people adapt to his heat, like especially in Korea, the Korean players adapted to his heat pretty quickly. And what they do against his heat is they straight up just hold back or step block from range. And if they're up close to Devil Jin, they bully him as much as possible, since all of his panic moves are pretty much launch. This is launch, this is launch, this is launch, and there's no mix-up from up 4 anymore. So bullying Devil Jin is a great idea. And what they do when Devil Jin is in heat is they either just bully the fuck out of him so he doesn't get to press any moves, and heat smash is slow. Like heat smash is I-18, don't forget that. So again, bullying is not a bad idea. And when they're on further ranges against Devil Jin, what they do is they just hold back. And this reminded me of playing Noctis in Rage back in Tekken 7. Noctis had a Rage Drive that was kind of like Devil Jin's, a very long range projectile. Well, Devil Jin's heat smash is not a projectile, but still it's a bit comparable. Same range, but you could sidestep it. It was so hard to sidestep though that more often than not people got hit for trying to sidestep. It's the same with Devil Jin's heat smash. It is actually steppable, but it is only steppable when it's active. Like during its active frames is the only time you can sidewalk it, so it's pretty much impossible. And it just reminded me of that, honestly. Because what people did against Noctis and Rage back then is they just held back, that's it, until the Rage Drive came out. Same with Devil Jin's heat smash, people are just waiting for it. And CD 1+2, 1+2 may be a great move, but the more I played against Korean top players, the more I thought that this move, people just fuzzy guard it, or they straight up react to it. Like the more I played against, for example, JDCR or Ulsan, the less they got hit by this move, if ever. More often than not, it felt like they're not getting hit by this move at all anymore. And when both CD 1+2 and Heat Smash are out of the picture, the only thing this character is really left with is his Morning Crow Heat Smash. And I think this Heat Smash is only worth going for when it kills. Other than that, you're just giving away your heat and you're pretty much at a disadvantage. So I don't see a reason to make a game plan out of Morning Crow when you're in heat necessarily. Of course, this becomes much stronger in heat, and this alone is also pretty strong while you're in heat, but the more I thought about it, the more I felt like Devil Jin is not the strongest character in heat, the way I said it when the game was released. Instead, I feel like Ling and Xiaoyu are both... Ling and Kazuya are both stronger in heat than Devil Jin. I'm sure there are also a few other contenders, but when I played against Mulgol's Kazuya, for example, I was convinced that Kazuya is one of the strongest characters in heat. Just his stomach 1+2 in heat alone at the wall, and Kazuya at the wall in general, is so much stronger than Devil Jin in heat. And in the open, even in the open, I feel like Devil Kazuya has so much more to offer than Devil Jin mix-up wise. Because Devil Jin's option in Heat, when people start respecting you a lot, is going in and tail sweeping. And at that point, you're basically just playing Devil Jin again, not Devil Jin in Heat. And again, CD 1+2, 1+2 became a non-issue for many players I played against in Korea. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that Devil Jin's Heat is a bit overrated in my opinion. It is very strong, don't get me wrong. This move alone is so strong, even as a whiff punish. It has a lot of utility. Morning Crow Heat Smash also has a lot of utility. As I said, when it kills, it becomes one of the most dangerous Heat Smashes in the game, if not the most dangerous Heat Smash in the game. But it's just that his Heat basically forces the opponent to do nothing, and when they do nothing, all Devil Jin can do is pretty much go on and tail sweep. Because his other lows aren't scary at all. So by the time you're pressing your other lows, your heat meter will run out, and essentially you're left with just no heat in the end. So either you pray that a CD 1+2, 1+2 connects somehow, and if it doesn't, your heat is pretty much worthless. Well, worthless is a harsh word, but again, I feel like I overrated this heat a lot. At least when the game was released. People kinda had no clue how to deal with Devil Jin, and now that they know, it becomes super hard to utilize this heat properly. And other than that, what irks me the most about this character in general right now is that his optimal gameplay is this. This is his optimal gameplay right now. Like, even when I talked with Nee, for example, he said, Devil Jin is strong, but you have to hell sweep a lot with this character because that's your winning condition. And I kinda also thought about this hell sweep recently. What makes this hell sweep better than Tekken 7 hell sweep even? Like, yeah, sure, the range is awesome, like, it launches from range 2.5, which the Tekken 7 hell sweep didn't do at the end of the game's lifespan. The range on the clean hit, or like the pickup, was nerfed in Tekken 7 in Season 2, I believe. And that resulted in CD4-4 becoming a better alternative more often than not. However, in this game, by nerfing the CD4 1+2, they also nerfed the CD4-4. Not only does it 3 damage less now, it also has less range, and I loved going for CD4-4 over CD4 1+2 at the wall, for example. I saw a lot of reason to go for this alternative over the launching one. And now that they nerfed both, or like CD4-4 indirectly by trying to nerf CD4 1+2, I'm super upset that this move there's no reason to go for it over CD4 1+2 anymore. This will always be more damage. Which, okay, that was also the case before, but still, CD4-4 was still a 38 damage low, plus 4, and at the wall, you can just keep your pressure up. If they try to get away from the wall, you had so many options to beat that, like either with back 4-2 or 1-1. And now at the wall, your game plan consists of trying to hit this into this. And trust me when I say this sweep range nerf has gotten me killed a lot. Back when the nerfs were first released, I said nothing changed about this character and it's only a slap on the wrist. I take that back so much. Just this nerf alone has gotten me killed a lot. Like Morning Crow 1 getting nerfed on speed and the chip damage being less did a lot for this character. Because the speed nerf also killed this Oki, which I'm also upset about because this Oki had a lot of character. Like the mix-up I explained in the first week of Tekken 8 being released, 1-1-2 into the Morning Crow Oki. This was removed indirectly because of the nerfs, and Devil Jin needed this in my opinion, because that chip damage was important. Why is it important, you may ask? It's simple. His 13 frame while standing punish also got indirectly nerfed because of the chip damage nerf. Let me show you what I mean. Back when it was still 10 chip damage, it was 37 damage in total to go for a while standing 1-2 punish. Now that the chip damage was nerfed to 6, it's only 33. I don't see a single reason to go for voice standing 1-2 anymore outside of heat for a Morning Crow mix-up. Other than that, voice standing 4-4 will always be superior. More range, better situation on block, like voice standing 1-2 on hit does nothing. Better situation on hit, I mean, for voice standing 4-4. And I don't see a reason anymore to go for this. Like, there are a few characters that can even walk Morning Crow 1 after voice standing 1-2 on hit. And every character in the game can power crush this now. So, again, I feel like they're balancing decisions. Okay, maybe he might have needed nerfs, but you indirectly nerfed things that this character unironically needed, in my opinion. Like, this has become worthless. They can just sidewalk on wake up now. Step block even, in order to beat both this. Wait. Let me not do sidewalk. Let me demonstrate this with tech roll. Just that alone is enough. Wake up. Grunting. Sad okizeme. This is what we need. Just on a tech roll alone, this doesn't connect anymore. Which it did before it got nerfed. And you had so many mind games to play around with while staying super safe. Now you're just back to dashing in and trying to health sweep or trying to mix them up. I am super upset about... Okay, it sounds a bit over-exaggerated, but still, I'm super upset that they removed this from the character because, in my opinion, this Oki had a lot of identity for him. The chip damage was super useful. The situation on block was super useful. Like, +8 is never bad for Devil Jin. You could do so much from it. That is gone now. So his 112 is literally just a normal Mishima 112 now, instead of making him, like, unique with the follow-up Morning Crow Oki. His CD4-4 got nerfed indirectly, which I'm also upset about, because in my opinion, the better option to balance him would have been to make this a heat-only follow-up, keep the old damage, and while you're not in heat, you still have a very strong health sweep option. When you're in heat, and you still have the same damage, like, the only time Devil Jin gets a lot of damage from health sweep now is when he goes for the max damage BNB. Which is this. It's 62 damage, and let me tell you something. Back in Tekken 7, in season 4.5, when his health sweep still launched on normal hit like this, and when you did manage to get a pickup, like when you hit it shallow, Devil Jin had potential to get damage up to 71 and a flip over. If you learned how to do these routes for the old health sweep back then, and landed a proper wall splat and got the fly 3 back 4, you got 71 damage from a health sweep. And before back to 1 was nerfed, you consistently got like 65 damage just from carrying to the wall. Now, all you get is 45 damage. And no Oki, mind you. The wall carry is okay-ish, but more often than not, I just find myself not even going for the wall carry anymore, like the full string. All I do is this pretty much for the Oki. And honest to God, I think his Tekken 7 health sweep was better than his Tekken 8 health sweep. And his win condition in Tekken is literally his health sweep, which creates so much grey health, which is also the reason why I preferred going for this over CD4 1+2. I see no benefit to this health sweep over his old one back in Tekken 7. His Tekken 7 health sweep was arguably better than his current one. And yet, you'll still see a lot of people complaining about this current health sweep, which is justified. Any launching health sweep is annoying to deal with. But still, I don't see anything this character does so much better than his Tekken 7 iteration, at least when he was in his top tier forms. Like, this is just so much worse. His jab is so much worse. This is worthless now. Literally worthless. I just get disappointed by using these two moves. Down forward 1 still has its uses at the very least. And sure, he may have gotten 4-4-4 and up forward 1. But there's no reason not to do a step block to the right from range against this character. He has nothing to track you with that, and a step block to the right beats both up forward 1 and 4-4-4 at the same time. And you have nothing to complement this with in order to track them, except for Heat Smash. And you're not gonna use that Heat Smash to track someone trying to sidestep up forward 1 and 4-4-4. That's not your main goal while being in heat. So, the only time you want to be sidewalking against Mishimas anyway is when you're up close. And then you're gonna sidewalk to the left, as usual. But Devil Jin currently boils down to health sweep and back forward 2. That's it. This is the character right now. You're gonna have the occasional electric here, or the occasional jab. But the character really just boils down to health sweeping and using back forward 2. And he had all of this in Tekken 7 already in better. At the highest level of play, all his gimmicky stuff is up 4, his back 1+3, his back 3. They all don't matter. This character got so much new stuff, but all of the new stuff he got is so whatever. Like, the only thing I find useful at this point is using up forward 1 as a whiff punish from very long range. I don't even throw it out normally like that much anymore, unless I'm trying to keep up pressure with this. 4-4-4 is literally just my 4-4-2 alternative because I don't want to go into heat immediately. Because going into heat immediately means you're kind of forced to mix them up immediately. If you don't mix them up while you're in heat, you're just wasting your heat. That's why I don't like going into heat right away. And that's the reason why I prefer going for 4-4-4 in those cases. That's literally just my 4-4-2 alternative, and it tracks way worse. The situation on block is worse. It doesn't do any chip damage, unlike 4-4-2. And worst of all, 442 doesn't even give side wall splits anymore because of the heat engager. So like at the wall, I'm also kind of forced to use 444 over 442. It's super frustrating to think all of this together. Like when I played different characters recently, like Kazuya and Shaheen, I felt so much less stressed while playing those characters, especially in the first two. Like, sure, Kazuya is equally hard to play as Devil Jin, if not even harder. But at the very least, I got more rewarded for finding openings with that character. And at the very least, Kazuya still has fast counted launcher, and now for 2. He still has better lows outside of Hell Sweep, so he's never really forced to Hell Sweep. He has 4 for easy plus frames. And I'm just not sure anymore at this point what Devil Jin even does better than Kazuya. Like, I guess his heat in the neutral is stronger because of the potential threat of heat smash always being there. But other than that, I generally don't see what Devil Jin does do much better than Kazuya. Maybe his range. Maybe that's it. That's what he does better. And maybe forcing you to respect him a bit more because he has better frame traps theoretically, or like safer frame traps. But that's just about it. I kind of also want to note the fact that in this game, sure, Devil Jin has a lot of combo damage, like some of the highest in the game even. But I feel like your combo damage in this game is worthless if you don't have standing damage to... Like, if you don't have a means of consistently dealing standing damage. Devil Jin doesn't have that kind of... Like, all you have is, well, this. Your down 3 is irrelevant in this game because 12 damage in Tekken 8, where you have 180 or 185 HP, I believe, it's nothing. So you're kind of forced to use down mid 2 instead, which is a very slow low. It's sidesteppable. And a lot of people fuzzy for the slow alone, so you're not going to have much success with the slow unless you use it for high crushing, which is its original purpose anyway. I feel like the best way to deal with high combo damage is literally just if you eat too much combo damage and you have a lot of gray health, you just pop heat, and that's pretty much it. You gain back your health, and when you're in rage, you don't take any chip damage anyway. So at the very latest, when you're in rage, is when you should pop your heat and just make a comeback for free. High combo damage is a blessing and a curse at the same time. You can kill early, but at the same time, if you don't kill early, they're always gonna make a comeback on you. The amount of times where my opponent was like 10 HP and had a lot of gray health and still got the round because they just popped heat and then I was in the defending position and they just guessed right once or twice on the mix-ups and I lost. It's... At this point, it's an uncountable amount. I do not want to, well, give a very accurate tier list placement or anything. I dislike tier list discussions, but I personally am convinced this character is not top 5 anymore. And even when the top 5 gets nerfed, I don't believe this character is top 5. He is top 10. He has the potential to be very strong in the right hands. And I feel like we will see cooldowns cause a lot of damage in Evo Japan. But in the first two, I feel like there's way better choices to, like, if you're going to pick a character that lives and dies off mixing up, I feel like there's better choices for that. Anyway, that concludes my opinion on this character for now, or at the very least 2 months into the game. I'm out. I'll see you guys soon.